If you're an author who's working with a book cover designer to create your book cover, there's some really cool things you can do in the marketing side of this to leverage it on social media. Now, the best way to do this is to be in conversation with your cover designer. Do this in tandem with them. If they have good socials, and they should, you should be actively looking for that as a cover designer when you're deciding who to work with. You want to do crossover content. So you could have so many pieces of content where you're having conversations back and forth, talking about how you're going to design things, how you're going to tweak things. You can do behind the scenes on it. They can film things, you can film things. They can film themselves answering your questions. You can film conversations back and forth between you. You can say, hey, I emailed my cover designer this was the response. This is how we're handling this situation. Show the process of designing that book cover. They can also create content where they're doing like speed edits of your book cover and put that out on their socials, which you can then duet, stitch, or show in some way on your socials. So you can do some cross promotion here. They can show off you can show off them. You can do all sorts of things as you are, getting different versions of this if you're in conversation with that person. So if you have not talked to your cover designer and you're just showing the different sample versions that they're giving you as you're doing the revisions, don't do that. You can't show things until it's done. So make sure you talk with them first, and then you can do the steps of the process. Hey, today my cover designer is starting to work on my cover. Here is the first example she sent. Here are the tweaks we're making. I'll let you know what the update looks like. Do something along the lines of that. That's going to get people's attention. You can also bring your audience in on this. So even before you begin the design process, you can say, hey, listen, I've got a book. It is this genre, this trope. What do you think we should do? Do you want to see a model on it? Do you want to see typography? Do you want to see some kind of object? What do you typically look for in this genre with this tropes for book covers? You can run contests and polls and questions about the colors that you want to be using. If you're working with somebody who is like me, who does live stream book cover design, you can actually work with me and we can go live and people can watch me making your book cover. You could join me on screen as I design your book cover. And you can be saying, oh, I like that. Maybe let's tweak this a little bit. In real time, we can do your book cover for your audience to watch. There are tons of ways that you can be leveraging the content that is coming out of your book cover creation. Now, if your book cover designer doesn't want anything to do with it, that's a too bad, so sad situation. You're going to have to leverage it in different ways. So now you're going to be looking for just your side of the things. You can say, hey, I emailed them. This is what we're working on right now. You can say, this is what I'm seeing. This is how things are going. I'm so excited to show this to you. When this releases, how should we celebrate? How should I do an unveiling of this? What type of video should I make for this? Bring your audience into the conversation leading up to the big reveals. You can do all sorts of things to reveal that cover that are not boring, that are not basic, that are not the things that every other author is doing on social media to reveal their cover that really isn't very interesting to your audience. So this is the point where you're really getting people involved in the conversation and building up the excitement and anticipation so that you have a big reveal no matter what you do. So with that in mind, you are going to be looking at the process. You're going to be looking at your side of the process. You're going to be looking at pulling your cover designer into this. If you can do crossover content, that's the best way to do it. And if you can do things where you prolong this a little bit, so you're going to have, a video here, a video there, maybe a live stream here, you're going to make quite a bit of content out of it, that is going to work best for you. And then if you find a book cover designer that you work really well with, that is going to be up for that cross promotion. You can continually do this and build it bigger and bigger and better as you go. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can be doing. Do keep in mind that as you're creating content, this is marketing. All of these things are marketing pieces of content. So you can only use commercial use music. So if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, use the commercial use library. You cannot use Taylor Swift. You cannot use Dua Lipa. All of those things will get you sued because that's copyright infringement. So you have to make sure you're using the royalty-free music, the commercial use library on the social platforms, or you're using something like Epidemic Sound, which allows you to use that royalty-free music however much you want to download and use within the course of your subscription. So there's lots of really cool things that you can be doing with this, but you've got to do it the right way in terms of the music that you're using and the imagery that you're showing and the conversations that you're showing. If you are having those conversations with your book cover designer and they've not given you permission to show the emails, you cannot show the emails, right? The correspondence back and forth. That's the proprietary information of their business. So we're not going to be doing that, but you can have the conversations about, oh, well, this is kind of what we discussed today. This is what we were talking about. This is what we're thinking. What do you guys think? You can have the conversations without showing the proprietary information. So think all of that through and then make a list of 5 to 10 pieces of content that you can do on your book cover before it is available to the public. What can you do leading up to it? And then create a really cool reveal piece as well. If you can get some live streams in there, even better. If you can do a Q&A with your book cover designer, that's really cool. You've got so many options for this. So think about it in the terms of a reader. What would a reader want to know about your book cover? What does a reader want to know about your book? Don't look at this through author eyes, author lenses. Look at this through reader eyes and reader lenses. That's going to help you to get really good eye-catching, scroll-stopping content for your social before your book cover is ever out. Follow along for more ways that you can market what you're doing inside of your author life just on the daily so that you can save time and effort creating your social content so you can make more money from it, but have more time to write your book and live your best life. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.